And we're live. Welcome to tonight's BioDevils podcast. Today I have two guests, and we're going to be talking about some pre-E3 news. So why don't I have some of our hosts introduce themselves? So why don't we have Lester go first?
Hello, my name is Lester. Hi, how you doing?
Right. And then up next we have Kaneki.
This is Kaneki, and are you excited for KOF 14?
And then after that, we have the scrub known as Brandon, also known as Arcane Scrub 514.
Until you fight me in a fighting game, sit down somewhere.
Also known as high off his ass.
Damn right.
Right next to Snoop Dogg. And then, we last but not least, we have Devil Hunter James. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? We haven't done this in, actually a good while.
So yeah, why don't we just get right into it and talk about some of the news that we have today. There's gonna be a lot of there's gonna be some VR related stuff. There's gonna be a lot of Capcom related stuff. So I think that it'd be interesting if we just get right into it with number 3. So why don't we have Brandon read that one off?
What? Okay
Number
then.
3.
Capcom has hired. Wait a second. Capcom hires writer of Spec Ops: The Line and Fear
And
for
Fear.
Resident Evil 7. Yeah. This is the first Western writer to work on a Resident Evil title. What are your thoughts? Okay. Like, if he's a good writer, then sure, why not? Because Spec Ops: The Line was a good game.
From my
It was a good
understanding,
story.
a lot of people like both Fear and Spec Ops: The Line, but I'm not really too familiar with the writer in question's work. So it's like I don't know how this will turn out, but I think it does kind of explain some things about the direction of Resident Evil 7.
I mean, he made a good story based on post-traumatic stress disorder and
Mhm.
Spec Ops: The Line, so I could see him doing a good job with this.
Yeah, I mean, I would see where some people would be willing enough to give him a benefit of the doubt and see what he can do, and where he can take the story with Resident Evil 7. But what are your thoughts on this, Lester?
I think it's a good choice. I love but Bug Ups the Line. I thought it was a good story, so it's a good choice. Hopefully it'll be better than Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, everybody
Those
hopes
dogs.
that that it's gonna be better than 6. Well, I mean, nothing can be worse than Operation Raccoon City script now, can it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I am Buttercore.
Oh, yeah. Well, that doesn't really have a script, but that game is, like an alpha state, I guess you can say. Does anybody else have
Yeah.
any opinions on this though, with the with the writer that they chose?
Not really.
No, not really, other than the fact that hopefully they don't have the curse where a Western dev interferes with an Eastern dev and it fucks up. That's the only thing I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
AMC.
Yep. Don't fuck it up.
Right. So I'm gonna actually read off number 4. In more Resident Evil news, Capcom says if you like a lot of guns, Resident Evil 7 isn't for you, and that fans should be looking at the spin-off titles or at spin-off titles such as Umbrella Corps if they wanted action Resident Evil. Do you think that Capcom is making the right decision when it comes to that? I would say yeah. Dividing it into like if you want action in Resident Evil, you should look at like spin-off titles. Although that doesn't necessarily mean that those spin-off titles will be good. I think that that's a better approach than to say like, hey, look, we have Resident Evil 6, and it's got 75% of the game is action, and a quarter of it has a little bit of survival horror in it. I think that it would just be better to, separate the two and kind of keep them like separate and distance themselves.
Definitely.
Lester, you were trying to say something?
I was agreeing with you. Sorry.
Oh, it's cool. Anybody else have anything to say? Like James, maybe?
Well, the thing where they said you should look at Umbrella Corps. No, I'm not going to look at that piece of shit. But I get what they're trying to say, but that game is terrible.
Right.
As for the less guns and RE7, I don't know. It kind of might work. We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Kaneki?
If they're willing to show off more gameplay, then I could see. Then we will decide if they can actually work with Resident Evil 7 with less guns. Until then, I have no comment about it.
Right. Is Brandon back, or is he still gone?
Alright, I'm back.
Hey, do you have any opinions on number 4? It's about how Capcom is saying that if you want action in Resident Evil, you should be looking at spin-off titles like Umbrella Corps.
Well, that means if we won't have another 6, then that's a good thing.
Hmm.
And that's it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
As long as we get horror back, like we do in 7, then we're good.
Right. I think we're all kind of on the same page with it. It's like we're okay with them dividing it, but how they divide it and how they make those titles, it really just all depends on how they handle those kind of things. Like Umbrella Corps, for example. Like we all agree that game is just utter garbage, and nobody's really interested in that. So it really just all depends.
It was 500 player base
On PC. I think it dropped.
I heard
too.
consoles not too much better either.
Right.
Well, it's better than nothing.
We will
Capcom
get
can
to
enjoy wasting money.
We will get to something related to that. We did talk about that on the Mighty Number 9 roast last night. So, anyways, I'm gonna let Kaneki take the next question. Whatever question you want to take is fine.
I guess I could take question number 5. Hideo Kojima's family wants him to retire and for him to do things that he wanted. Kojima, however, has said that he actually just wants to make games that are fun for people to play. What do you think of this interesting bit of news?
Good. Why doesn't everyone think like this? It's about fun, damn it.
I agree. Like, I hate it when like families try to force somebody out of something that they don't like. It's pretty stupid. Like, it's like it's trying to sabotage a relationship that you don't approve of.
From my understanding, when it came to like Metal Gear Solid 5, Kojima did at one point say that he wanted to take a break and start working on like books and like movie scripts. So I don't know if he like might have changed his mind about that. But he did say during the interview that like he feels like he made the right decision in terms of staying and making video games because he sees like all the support that he's getting from gamers that have played his games and enjoy his work. So I think that I can kind of see where maybe his family would want him to like retire because maybe he spent too much time over at Konami just working on game development and whatnot. But at the same time, if the man wants to go and continue to pursue that career, then no need to try to stop him. Does anybody else have any opinions on that?
If he... Oh, go ahead, Lester.
Please don't retire.
If he's...
Kojima is God.
If he actually wants... if that's what he really wants, then he wants to make games that are fun, then yeah. Let him do what he please.
Right. All right, I think we've spent a good amount of time on that one. So why don't we have James read off the next question? Could be any question you want. It doesn't have to be in order.
All right, how about? Oh yes, this is good. Number 7. Interview gives us an idea of what the game was inspired by, along with how the alpha demo has helped shape the development for the game. Any thoughts on the game's inspiration, if not interview itself? I already knew that they said they were inspired by Demon Souls. I had a feeling it was going to be Onimusha as well, just based on the way the game presents itself. And alpha demo. Well, most of us had a lot of gripes with the alpha demo, so I hope the beta's a lot better. At least I hope they took their advice on the difficulty, because that game is fucking unbalanced as hell.
I think that they said they still want to keep, like, the difficulty, but they want to work on the balancing for the game, so so it'll feel like it's more balanced, but it'll still be difficult to players.
I put it to you like this. If the foot soldiers could still do as much damage as a fucking demon does in that game, then no, they did not fix it, because that is stupid.
Right. As far as the inspiration is concerned, I'm really happy that they're taking inspiration from Onimusha, because that is a franchise that really needs to come back, and Capcom's just not putting any love into it. It's been a while since we've actually...
I thought it's that they couldn't do it.
It's not that they couldn't. They can always do a new Onimusha. It's just that they choose not to do an HD remaster of the first 3 titles, because they actually have the likenesses of certain actors. One of which, for the second game, if I'm not mistaken, is deceased. So there's some complications with that. It's unfortunate, but it's... I feel like Capcom is kind of like handicapping themselves, because they know they can do it, they just don't want to put the money into it.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else have any opinions?
No.
No.
Alrighty, so I guess we'll...
I'll read one.
Oh, okay, cool. Anyone you want.
Okay. Alright. To make a particular person salty, Kami expressed his interest in making Bayonetta 3 and Kami 2. What do you think about this, and will you be open to a sequel to Bayonetta and Okami? Well, yes and yes, because Okami technically already had a sequel on the 3DS, on the DS, but it's whatever. As far as Bayonetta 3 goes, if this is going to be the last game, I'm fine with it. Give Bayonetta a trilogy and just pair the rest.
I can see that. Like, with Bayonetta, there's always room to improve on what 2 had, and kind of fix some of the issues that 2 had, and hopefully make it multi-plat this time instead of Wii U exclusive. But
also, Kami is also in talks with Capcom, so it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I remember he's gonna get brought up a little bit later whenever we get to the question, but he's been talking with like Capcom representatives for a while now, and like recently, to my understanding, he had brought up a poll that asked, like, what do you want to see me work on next? Devil May Cry, Okami, Beautiful Joe.
That was a long while ago, Don.
Yeah, it was a while.
Yeah, but
back,
it's still kind of relevant.
It was
to the
still
question.
recent and relevant. You know, it wasn't like, oh, it happened like 6 years ago and it's not relevant. No, it's still relevant to some degree. And if I'm not mistaken, Beautiful Joe and Okami were voted the highest. And between those two, because he did a separate poll for those, to my understanding, Okami was winning a lot, because I think people really wanted to see that get expanded on, just because Beautiful Joe did have a few sequels, if I'm not mistaken.
I think 3 games total.
Mm-hmm. James, do you have any opinions on this? Because I know you...
I know Brandon very badly wants my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, go on it, Saga debunk it.
Alright, well, Brandon, didn't you say with Bayonetta 2 they kind of wrapped up all the loose ends?
As yes and a no. I mean, they still can continue on with something else. I mean, let's be honest here. They still can make something else though. But as far as they made like a time traveling type of story. So they already like explain what happened in the first game and why one villain is a villain in the first place and yada yada yada. But they still can technically move on and have something else come up. Well, the question is though, who's going to be a bigger threat than the villain they had previous?
Dante.
Well, that's obvious, but that's the point.
Other than him, no, I don't know. If they can make something out of it, I guess go for it. I just hope it's not on the stupid Wii again, because then no one's going to play it.
Yeah, I'm surprised it still sold 2 million now.
Okami, yeah, definitely Okami was cool. I would like to see a sequel to that.
I have the game on PSN now, so it's really fun. A little annoying too, but fun.
Actually, Dom, I kind of should add something. There was a joke that Kamiya made that is kind of relevant. What was it? Brandon, do you remember him saying something about DMC Zero? I remember he was joking around with that.
Yeah, like if I think so. He's saying
He
he
said
would
if
work on
Capcom
DMC
hired
0.
him to do it, he would do it.
Yeah, that and also Resident Evil 2 remake.
The only way I'd let him do that game is if Itsuno's still directing it.
Right. Actually, I'm glad you brought up the remake because, from my understanding, Kamiya, when he was saying he wants to work with Capcom, and this happened, I believe, last year, he was saying that he doesn't mind working for them, but he doesn't want to do it on the Resident Evil 2 remake. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Does anybody else, does Lester or Kaneki have any opinions on this, or are we good to move on?
Let Bayonetta 3 have Dante. What happened, Lester?
I said put Bayonetta on PC, please.
Put Bayonetta on PC, please.
Actually, I agree. Put it on PC.
Yeah, I would agree. It really needs to go multi-plat.
Let
I mean,
Virgil
he's PC gamers.
let Virgil be the final boss of Bayonetta 3.
You want her to
would never
die?
win. You would never win.
I don't. Okay, that's a different discussion another day. But let's move on.
I'll let Lester take the next question, whichever question you want, Lester.
Let's see. Number 14.
Okay.
PS4 exclusive Spider-Man game will be running on the Insomniac engine, and Naughty Dog will not be involved with the engine development. What is your take on this?
Also, can I add something real quick?
Okay.
Apparently, all Spider-Man games in the future will be PS4 exclusive.
Nice.
Oh.
Hold the
The
loaves.
Xbox has
Hold the
nothing.
loaf, Microsoft. Xbox.
Hold the loaf.
A spot was confirmed.
I'm not complaining. I'd rather have it on the better engine, better running console in this case.
Yep.
So get hyped for Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think that this is gonna be an interesting turn of events because it'll be just like another. It's gonna be another example of, hey, this is why you should have a PS4 over an Xbox One. We're getting another game that's gonna be exclusive to the platform. Granted, I can understand where some people might be upset and would prefer a multi-plat Spider-Man game, but at the same time, it's just like.
Sony owns the license to Spider-Man,
So, yeah.
it's no surprise.
It's kind of no surprise. It's like Brandon is saying.
And
It's like they
isn't Insomniac a PlayStation kind of company?
They're not owned by Sony though, but they do most of their work on the PlayStation platforms.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Kaneki, I know you're looking forward to the new Spider-Man. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Whoop! The hype is real for that game. I hope we get they'll have a thing where we complete the demo, early access.
Oh yeah.
Now, here's a question for you guys. What do you think of the game so far?
I think it looks pretty good visually. I mean, I definitely need to see more, but they were saying that the game is running, or was running in the in-engine footage, or that trailer that they had was in-game footage. But Definitely need to see more on it.
I'm loving that suit.
I hope it's like Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. At least that's where they draw their inspiration from.
As in what exactly? Open world?
Just the way the game is structured, I guess. Yeah,
And in
obviously,
that
it's
case,
obviously open world as we've seen it already.
yeah, I mean, like, because, Spider-Man 2
Uh,
combat is very dated compared to the modern ones we have
Not
now.
the combat, but like the how you move Spider-Man, I guess, around the city, like the web swinging and how his acrobatics work. They should take that.
Yeah.
That was definitely good.
Hmm.
They had that in Spider-Man 3. You could web zip on anything. Maybe it's not there. You still can web zip. No, that's
That
Spider-Man
sounds
1.
broken.
No, that was Spider-Man 1, actually. There's nothing
No.
up in the air, but you still can web zip.
Oh no, you could web swing through the air, and it makes no sense, but you can.
Yup. Science.
Right. Hey, James, you want to take the next question? And then I'll take
No, Capo.
I'll take the one after that.
All right. What do you think about the other Neo question they had?
Oh,
Number 11,
oh, yeah.
where
Read that
Team
off.
Ninja is not compromising on the difficulty. How do you feel about the difficulty of the alpha? As I said before, it's a good game. It's just
Horribly
it's way more punishing than it is fair to the player, which is something that Dark Souls does a lot better. So I don't know why they didn't look at Dark Souls and look how you get hurt and say, well, maybe that's how much damage the player should take instead of, I could be fully armored in the alpha and still get my fucking ass like two-shotted by some regular asshole. It's ridiculous.
Can I have it in
If-
Dark Souls as well?
No. You could take more hits and you had more iframes and you didn't. The part where your stamina drains, if it completely drains and you try to dodge, you will
can't
be
move.
stuck on the ground. Yeah, that's absolutely stupid.
That is
I agree.
bullshit.
Also, the
Okay.
one-shot kills with the arrows. That needs to go.
That wasn't. No, I didn't get one-shotted by the arrows. I got shot off a ledge to my death.
Huh.
The fall damage is pretty high.
With my experience, I can say that the enemies like to hone in on you. Once they see you, you're dead, and you better hope that you can at least dodge enough times to kill both enemies or multiple enemies that are chasing
Actually,
you.
that was a problem I had too.
Mhm.
Where how the fuck do you fight multiple enemies in that game? They just gang rape you.
You're right, and that's what I was gonna get to. Is like they home in on you, and it's like your character, William, has no way to actually combat them because they don't give you breathing room, and by that I mean it's like you can fight them all you want, but they're never gonna like run out of stamina as much as you do, and they really need to work on like giving the player breathing room and kind of just having like if you're having like multiple enemies trying to fight you at once, at least they should have it where like they don't do it consistently, where
You need a crowd control stance with the spear or something. I don't know. They need to give me
Right.
a crowd control option because I have nothing to do. Like William fights things one at a time. That's all I noticed. He's a one-on-one character. He's not multiple. Maybe the other characters are better at that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Wait, there's
we'll
more than one
definitely
playable
see.
character?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hanzo is the Hanzo Hattori is the next character to play as in the demo. He's a ninja.
Oh, okay. No, now I'm more interested in this.
Mhm.
Multiple
Well,
playable
it's
characters.
from Team Ninja and it's a ninja, so I.
No, I
don't
mean
trust
like
them.
multiple playable characters in a Souls type game. That got me intrigued now.
I wish you could make your own character, but I guess I'll live with it.
Give me a
Yeah,
black
I
man.
would have to agree. I think that at least on the trade-off here is that you get to play as multiple different characters and you get to mix and match different armor sets and whatnot. So I think that'll be pretty cool to experiment with. Kaneki, you did play the alpha, so do you have any opinions on the balancing of that particular build?
At least balance it right. That's all I have to say. Don't make the stamina bullshit because that's one of my main issues when I first played the alpha. Even though I
When you
didn't
get stuck in
enough
place.
Yeah, fucking. Oh, and the fact that you can't move, like you said earlier.
It's not realistic. Like, I'm sorry, even a
No,
man
it's
in
not.
heavy armor doesn't just slow down instantly and all of a sudden their feet are glued to the ground when they're tired. That's not how being tired works.
Hey,
Exactly.
hey, it'd be funny if you trip on a banana peel and you die.
Eh.
You know what? They would probably do that as crude humor.
I would though.
Right. So, any last opinions before we move on?
Yes. Will this game have co-op?
I think so. Yeah, I think the alpha demo had co-op if I remember correctly.
All right. So BioDevils plays.
Yeah. Definitely. If not BioDevils plays, it'll definitely be TCP plays. But anyways, why don't we move on to the next question? Like I said, there was going to be a lot of Resident Evil news, so I'm going to take on number 8. Hideki Kamiya has asked about a remake for Resident Evil 2 for years. Do you find it odd that the director of the original wanted a remake to RE2 despite not wanting to work on it? Yeah, I would say it's kind of odd that you want a remake of a game that you worked on, but you don't want to be a part of it.
That kind of feels a weird man.
Like, if the fan did the RE2 remake, like what RE2 was, and I would go for it, despite him not being involved.
And also have. I don't know. Kamiya's a weird man. Okay, this is put it that way. He's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate doing sequels. Oh, I'm doing Bayonetta 3 though.
He did Bayonetta too, actually.
Wasn't he pressured into that?
I don't even know.
Also, give me a second.
Yeah.
I hear your mom calling you.
But yeah, it's like I was saying. It's just that is kind of odd to me. So does anybody else have any opinions, or are we good to move on?
Let's move on.
Okay, so Brandon, why don't you take the next question?
Do I have to? Okay, give me a second. Number 6. Actually, yeah, this is an interesting question. Apparently, the PlayStation Vita suffers from frame rate drop, which could factor in not having all games required to run at 90 frames per second. I hope I read that right. Um, Currently, the PSVR has a requirement that all games that have VR support must run at 60 frames. How do you feel about VR frame rate drops and lower frame rate requirements for games on like competition? Competition, sorry. What the heck? I can't even read today.
That's alright, it happens. Basically, to explain it a little bit better, other headsets like the Oculus Rift, the HTC, and some of the other ones that are coming out on the market, they have a requirement that all the games that come on it have to run at 90 frames per second. The PlayStation VR, on the other hand, has a requirement of 60 frames per second as the requirement for all games. However, it can't be. It's not locked to 60 frames. It's just a 60 frame requirement minimum, which means that because it's not mandatory that it's locked at that frame rate or higher, I'm kind of not surprised that there are frame rate drops.
To get my take on this, though, if it was a weaker game for the PSVR, then sure, I'm not surprised that games run at 60 frames, compared to a higher end VR headset like the Oculus or TC whatever Vive.
The
So,
HTC Vibe or
yeah,
whatever it's
that.
called, yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
The demo that they found it like really dropping frames on was actually the Resident Evil 7 demo.
Yes, like if it's not locked, and that's actually a bad thing, and Sony could be accountable for it because that's a hazard to people's health.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need to have the game running at a high frame rate, at 60 or 90 or higher. Because if it's lower than that, then people will get sick for it. And worst cases, though, would be hospitalized. So if Sony don't have a requirement at locked at 60, then they're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Oh, James, you're back. But I was
Been
gonna
here.
actually ask Lester. Do you have any opinions on the PlayStation VR dropping frames and not being at a higher frame rate than the competition?
You know what will fix this?
What happened?
You know what will fix this?
What would that be?
The PS Neo.
PS Neo.
It'll be not the 60.
Well,
No, why are you joking though? He is actually kind of correct about that.
I think the games are too high graphical fidelity. Like they're going for too much graphics, probably, in my opinion.
well, the thing is, just to clarify with you, because I know you stepped out for a minute, the PlayStation VR has a requirement of 60 frames per second for games, whereas like the HTC Vive, the Oculus Rift,
They run 90.
yeah, they're required to run 90.
Yeah.
And you know,
Very
that's
high requirements.
yeah, it's speculated that that might be part of the problem, but it's also you know, speculated that like Sony might not actually be requiring you to lock your games at 60. They're just having you having your games at 60 as a minimum. So meaning that games could be allowed to pass even if they drop frames. For example, the demo that they found it dropping frames on a lot was actually the Resident Evil 7 demo.
High graphics, man, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, there's not a lot going on in the game, but still, those graphics have to be rendered real time, so... Yeah, I could see that doing it to it.
Yeah.
I'd say fuck. I'm still in the opinion of fuck VR. It's not going to be the future. It's too expensive, and it's not that amazing, in my opinion.
Well, watch when price drops happen and it's more affordable. People will probably jump in on it and try it out.
And I'll still be here with my good old controller.
Yeah. Kaneki, you have any opinions on that?
Not really. I really don't give a shit about the VR. That's all I'm gonna say to the VR. I don't give a shit.
So why don't we have you take off another question? We have a few more left on the main questions, and then we also have some of the optional topics if you want to take those on.
Who, me?
Yeah, yeah.
Alright. You all know what I'm about to say right now. Question number 12. King of Fighters 14's latest E3 trailer showed a new mode called Party Battle, where you can form a team with your friends online and fight against other teams around the world. And modes that we should have gotten for Street Fighter 5 since day one, but more impressive and really hold the promise on what we are getting at launch. So what is your guys' thoughts on the game? Hashtag Yuri's ass for the win.
I'm
said
gonna
that?
pass on this one because I don't know too much about fighting games, but I'll let you guys take the floor.
Alright, I'm back.
I've been
We're
wanting
on
this
question
since
12,
Soul Calibur, so yeah. At least finally some game has this. That's like the most, how do I put it, most anticipated mode I guess I've ever wanted in a fighting game, even though I'm not that into them, but for the ones I do play, yeah, I would have liked the team battle thing. It's always been awesome.
You know,
So yeah, good on King of Fighters.
Something like Tekken Tag 2 should have this. Because Street Fighter's Tekken had a mode similar to this, where you could play with your friend online. That would be on the same team together.
More fighters need that.
Yeah. Yeah, tag game of Soul Calibur. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that game would be hype as fuck with the team battle.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Party Battle would be hype. I doubt Street Fighter will be doing anything like this anytime soon because it's not even a tag game. So
I think it's a good way to introduce co-op, whereas in a fighting game that's nearly unheard of, I guess.
yeah, I guess so. Wait, because Tekken Tag 2 did have pair play for offline, but not online.
That's really stupid. They should fix that.
Yeah, Tag 3, make it happen. Let it go on. Alright, so anything else? Nope.
Don't know. Does anybody else have any opinions on this?
I'm
No
just
power
gonna
over 6. Give me team battle.
I'm just gonna say at least they have modes that fighting games should have had since day one. Basically shitting on Street Fighter V in a nutshell.
Yeah, esports. So
Well, that's part of the reason why Street Fighter V failed and Umbrella Corps has failed is esports and Evo. Trying to cater to those crowds instead of catering to fans.
Yeah, the people who buy the games. Go figure.
So, does anybody else have any opinions before we move, like final opinions before we move on? And I'll be taking the next few topics.
It's
we
still
don't. Then
esports.
I'll read the next question.
Oh well, I was gonna take a few of the smaller topics. So I'll let you go after those though.
Damn
So I'll read off some of these. Sony agrees to pay for the removal of Linux on PS3. I don't know too much about this, but it is in the docs, so if you guys want to look more into it, the
I know
source is
about
there.
this.
And then Yakuza 6 pre-orders are open on July 26th in Japan, so for those of you that want to import, I'm sure you can check out PlayAsia and get your pre-orders that way. And also, in some more smaller news, God of War's inspiration is apparently comes from a canceled Star Wars TV show, which I thought was kind of interesting to mention.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, you wanted to read off a question?
Well, before I do that, though, I wanted to explain number 3 and the small topics real quick.
Oh yeah, cool.
Sony is kind of slick about this. They're not paying everybody behind the whole removal of Linux. They're only paying the people who were quote unquote affected by it. Like, if you bought the older models that are compatible with Linux and you have the serial number and proof of purchase, then you can get your money or what other compensation they have. So basically, Sony was being a little slick about this by not paying everybody up. So yeah, GameSpot made a video on it. You can probably check it out somewhere. Sorry.
Did
they will explain everything.
right? No, I don't. Like I said, I don't know too much about this, but did they say how they're going to be compensating?
They be
people?
getting $55.
They're giving how much?
Yes, in $55.
I thought you
Yes,
said $5. I was just like, fuck you.
Yeah, it was $5, right?
I'll say
And shoot, you better give me $55. But I don't have proof of purchase.
Right.
Dang it, can't talk today. But
I'm
anyway,
broke. I need $55.
to go into the next question, number 10, Devil's Third is shutting down. Devil's Third is shutting down is less than a year. What? Whatever. However,
I guess that was supposed to be in less than a year. Somebody made a typo on that one.
However, you can pick up the game dirt cheap now. What are your thoughts on this? The game sucked though, so I really don't care.
Yeah.
All I know is that the multiplayer is shutting down, but if you wanted to play the single player, it's still going to be up, and you can get the game for dirt cheap. Kind of unfortunate because I was actually looking forward to that game, and then after hearing all the news about it and how it was supposed to be how it was a bad game, very unfortunate.
I think they're making a online MMO-ish type on the PC, but I haven't heard news on that in a while. So
Right.
well, yeah, Devil's Third is crap.
Does anybody else have any thoughts on Devil's Third?
it sucked.
It looks like ass.
This is gonna become a Devil's Third roast.
Well, it had one nice
That
hot
game has
chick.
already been grilled. There's nothing to do with it.
It had a hot female. That's all I can say about the game.
Yeah, it happens.
Triggers some SJWs.
So Lester, I'll let you take the next question.
Alright, let's see here. Let's see. Number 13.
Okay.
Yacht Club Games wants to know from fans what games they should develop next. Interestingly enough, Mega Man is brought up. After how Mighty Number Zero has turned out, do you think that fans of Mega Man will be willing to give Yacht Club games a shot of their own take of Mega Man?
You said Mighty Number Zero.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because from what I know, I think the character you play as from that shitty game is if I'm not mistaken, that's my number 0. I hope I to be wrong.
Wait,
because
Mighty
that's
Number 9? No, the character you play as is number 9 of the Mighties. Number 0 is
What?
Such a stupid name, more than Mightiest. What is this, fucking Power Ranger?
Bye.
He
No,
looks like a
considering
pro-
it came from Japan.
Before we go on a roast, I mean, we kind of already tore this game apart
To be
last
fair.
night. But how would you guys feel about the Yacht Club Games, the developers of Shovel Knight, taking on a project like this? And for anybody that's interested, I do have the source for the actual poll if you're interested in it. So be sure to check it out if you're a Mega Man fan and you want to see something happen with that.
Would they happen to be licensed by Capcom for this?
I believe they would have to be.
Yeah, they have to.
They
Yeah.
Unless it's fan made.
I'm pretty sure since they love the retro stuff, it's probably gonna be OG Mega Man. But man, if they made a Mega Man X game, that would be cool. But either way, I think it'd be hype.
I mean, as long as Mega Man returns, I'm fine with it.
What if they just did like a whole new series, not in the classic and not in the X series, just a whole new like Mega Man series?
Yeah, but can they make something that's not a retro game?
Wait, well, here's the thing though. How can they do it though? Because all the Mega Man games, reception of, I think, Battle Network.
No, X4, 5, and 6. Well, I don't know.
No, wait. Let me finish my point. The whole series as a whole are canon together, except for one series I forgot. So if they make a new series, will it be a non-canon or a canon
Right.
series?
I think Battle Network isn't canon.
Yeah, I don't think that was a canon. I don't remember. So
I'm just asking because like I think that if something were to like happen where they decided to make a new Mega Man series, regardless of whether or not it would be canon, like I just want to. I'm curious if you guys would be like interested in that.
can I get a new Strider game?
Oh, hey, Koss.
Hey
Awesome.
guys, sorry I'm late.
It's all right, man. So we have a late guest, but go ahead and introduce yourself, Koss.
Hey guys, Cost Destroy or Late Destroy right now.
Cause it's late.
The document's in the chat, by the way, Koss. If
I'm
you wanna
going
take a
through
look
it.
at Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're on number 13, and we're talking about Yacht Club Games, the developers of Shovel Knight, being interested in making a Mega Man game.
Ooh.
They have a poll for it up right now, so if I'll share that with you guys later if you want to check it out. But for anybody else that's interested, that will be in the description with all the other sources on this particular document.
Great.
But do you have any thoughts on that, Koss?
Since I guess the only thing I can say is like hell yeah, make a Mega Man game or something similar to it. Because Mighty Number 9, I don't know that.
You could ask Renegade about how terrible that is.
Hey, now make Mega Man great again. That's all I'm gonna say. Build a wall around Mighty Number 9.
Hashtag Revive Zero.
Bring a wall around Mighty Number 9 and Kiji Inafune.
Man, the roasts of a shit politician and a game developer and his game all at once.
You're welcome.
That is
I'm
something.
I'm sorry, but Mighty Number 9 goes right next to DMC Devil May Cry for me.
Damn.
I agree, actually.
It can
I
go
kinda
join the family of Yaiba DMC.
Yeah, I actually kind of hate this game more than DMC.
Since I haven't played it much, I played it literally took me 10 minutes to put down the controller and just no.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I had the unfortunate event of playing that game for a bit. And yeah, actually, I was gonna buy it just because I wanted another Mega Man game, but it was so bad that I actually saved myself $24, and I was like, F no. Never.
$24, man.
That
It's
should be
20
like
over here.
free. That should be vaporware. But I think we talked about, this topic, and it kind of diverged into a mini Mighty Number 9 roast, which you guys should check out our roast over at the TCP whenever that comes up later on. But we will move on to the next topic. So, Koss, I'm going to have you read off one of the topics. Anyone you want. It doesn't have to be in the order that we've been going in.
I don't even know which. So we have 15, 9, and 1 left, right?
Yes, and then we have the smaller and optional topics if you want to take one of those as well.
All right. Since you guys have been posting stuff about this all over Twitter, I'm gonna go with number 9. New images of upcoming Berserk title seems to indicate multiple arcs of the story being playable. What are your thoughts on this?
Get hype.
I think that's pretty good, and I actually want to add on to that one because it is in the smaller topics. PlayAsia has an interview up for the new game. The interview confirms that the game will start at the Golden Age arc and kind of cross into the Millennium Falcon arc. I don't know why I was stuttering there. So what are your thoughts on that as well? So yeah, I think that's pretty good. I do need to see more on the game though. I was kind of
shown gameplay.
initially. They've only shown the one trailer that was in-game footage, or they've claimed that was in-game footage. That trailer was at 30 frames per second, and last time we had a 30 frame per second Dynasty Warriors or Warriors game in general, it was a slideshow and it was absolutely awful. Kaneki knows which one I'm talking about.
It sounded like he trimmed his pants.
The worst Dynasty Warrior games I ever played. I don't know if there's a worse one, but Jesus Christ, fuck Dynasty Warrior games.
Arguably two.
At least that game runs at 60 from what I played compared to 8.
2, no. That was
2,
when they were
right.
still doing 30.
Yeah, all games prior to recent ones ran at 30.
Yeah.
Samurai Warriors is way better. Fuck Dynasty Warriors.
Samurai Warriors 4 was the first one, to my understanding, that was running at 60. 8 apparently allowed you to switch between 30 and 60, but that with like turning off VSync, but apparently that didn't really change shit. So
Sounds like Mighty Number 9.
yeah. So
Mighty who?
but James, I know you're a big Berserk fan. What are your thoughts on this?
I think if it doesn't run at 60, that could be a big problem. Considering Samurai Warriors is one of that, well, at least 4's best strong points running at 60. That game's a lot more fun that way. Graphically, it looks pretty good. I'm kind of concerned, though, that maybe they went for graphics more than the gameplay a little bit, if it's running at 30. But we'll have to see more. I hope if they do a dub that it doesn't suck, though, because the 90s anime had an amazing dub, so I would hope they would try and replicate that.
Oh, that fighting game, Brandon? Back when it started out as a fighting game. Did you guys know that actually? Was the Musou game
Yes.
started out as a fighting game?
Yes,
Dynasty Warriors 1.
I take a pass on that. That doesn't count for me as a Dynasty Warrior game.
No, so, it wouldn't be technical. None of the Dynasty Warrior games afterwards are Dynasty Warriors. Because it's not a fighting game.
Right. If you want to get real technical with it. So anybody else have any thoughts on the images or just the news that it will be crossing over those like particular arcs within the
I got
story?
one, though.
Yep.
I got one. Casca is hot.
Oh, that actually reminded me. They're going to be doing, at least in Japan, I don't know if they'll do it here. In Japan, you get like an alternate costume for her that you see in game, but you won't be able to unlock its DLC for some reason. I don't know why they decided to do it that way. And I think it's like a digital pre-order bonus, and it will be will be exclusive to those that pre-order the digital version for a little bit. I don't know why they do it that way, but they did it with like Samurai Warriors 4 Empires, where some DLC content was like cut off specifically just for the digital version only.
Basically, Casca went to a great teacher contest and she won.
Eh.
Hmm. Um, if I can say something about this,
Oh yeah, sure. Go for
Yeah, I
it.
guess.
I saw 2 screenshots, and immediately I was, "Is this Metal Gear Rising 2?" Because the graphics definitely look like it. It was the image with he's fully armored with the helmet and attacking someone.
Hmm.
Yep.
Oh, when he's in
And
the berserker armor, right?
yeah, and yeah, it just looks gorgeous. When I say MGR, I mean that it takes the bar really high because that game had amazing graphics, even though it was really short. So if this game actually plays like that, like I have never. Has there been a Berserk game before? Like,
There have been
On the
two.
Yeah,
Dreamcast, and where
and
else was it?
PS2.
PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Dreamcast and PS2. To kind of give you some context, those two were both hack and slash games, but the first one, the one that was on Dreamcast, was a little bit more arcadey.
Yep.
And from my understanding, I think that the one on Dreamcast is like partially canon or something like that. I think that like the creator of Berserk was involved with the script to some extent. And all I know is that it takes place in between like a particular point in the story, like between volumes 22 and 23. But the PlayStation 2 games cover everything from volume 22 and beyond that, I think. But yeah, that one's a lot more action oriented and less arcadey, from my understanding.
so Berserk is gonna be a hack and slash game.
Once again.
The sort of it's a hack and slash beat 'em up with this new one that's coming up. It's gonna
Yep.
play like a Dynasty Warriors type of game. And that's where I know like myself and James are kind of split on that because we don't know if that's the best way to go about it.
If they have no combos and it's just the same button mashing style, I'm gonna be like, well, this game's probably gonna be stupid.
It
then.
should probably play it like the One Piece Pirate Wars games. If anything.
Like,
Which
you have
comes
to-
similar to it.
I need combos.
Okay. I would say bring it if it's hack and slash and beat 'em ups. That would be great, but I don't know. Like, why don't you guys want it to be beat 'em ups and just hack and slash?
Well, me personally, and I know James kind of agreed with this. We kind of want it to play more like Dark Souls almost.
Yeah.
Just because Dark Souls is heavily inspired by Berserk. And then not to mention just like with a Musou style game, Omega Force's track record is kind of like 50-50. Sometimes they make pretty fun beat 'em ups. Other times they're just kind of subpar.
Like they have licensed ones as well, like
Right.
Pyro, Dragon Heroes, and whatnot.
Right. And so I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like going with this particular style, at least with like a hack and slash beat 'em up style, like a Musou game, it kind of limits the potential of what could be a good Berserk game. And that's not to say that this game will be bad or anything like that. I just feel as though the potential is being very limited.
Okay. And one more thing: is Japan gonna be playing us for a bit, or is this gonna get released on Japan and NA at the same time?
I think they might get it about a few months before us. And the reason why I say that is because the title here in North America hasn't been decided yet. And another thing is that when it comes to Musou games, Japan always gets our stuff first. Or gets
Okay.
stuff first before us. So, like, for example, like Samurai Warriors would come out about a few months to a year before us.
Okay. That's all. That's all you need to know about it.
Hey Dom, I'll do you a favor. If they were ever to release a Japanese demo for Berserk before like the game came out. Like for example, I have a Japanese account on PSN. If they release a demo on their store, I would probably like play the demo and tell you to see where they go with this.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have a Japanese account as well, and I would check it out too. But I like I said, I'm willing enough to give it a shot, but I'm kind of like 50-50 on it, just given Omega Force's track record. So does anybody else have anything to say, or are we good to move on?
Griffith?
Okay. So I'll take on the some of these next few. I'll just get rid of the last two topics on the small topics. An interview for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is out, and it gives a little bit more insight on the game's influences. Basically, they said that it was just going to be like B horror movies and like American snuff film types of things. And then as far as the last bit of small news, there's a new patent for the DualShock 4 controller that adds some more buttons. What are your thoughts on the design?
It better be an Xbox One, the original one controller.
Yeah.
Unless it has a start and select
It's
button. I don't care.
DualShock 4.
What do you mean by more buttons?
Basically, if you haven't seen the patent, they add in some buttons like underneath the controller. And I don't know if that's like to like have like a quick like L2 and R2 button that are just like closer to your fingers. But they're there, And I think it also adds in another 2 buttons closer to the analog stick.
Start and select, maybe, please.
I'm iffy about that.
No start and select.
But we already have the touchpad that makes 3 extra buttons.
Until I see the locations exactly, and
hold on, let me pull up the article itself and show you guys the patented design. Yeah. It was like I was saying, right here. You guys can take a look at it and see what I was talking about. It's a very odd-looking design.
You see this weird motherfucker?
Has Sony gone Nintendo on this?
What the fuck, Charles?
They also kind of changed the audio jack that they had.
There's buttons next to the... What?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's why I'm iffy about it.
Alright, let me see this real quick. So... No, I'm gonna look like a fucking old man with arthritis trying to hold this thing now.
definitely not the placement for the handle buttons. No.
Yeah, I don't like those really at all.
Big finger, that's gonna really...
Is there... Cause there seems to be a button underneath the D-pad, or...
D-pad
just
and
before the D-pad.
face buttons, yeah. There are 2 buttons there.
How do you... I mean, okay, that I can kind of live with. It better be... the thing about it is, though, depending on the way it feels when I push it, I don't want it to... If the button is really slippery, then that's bad design. And then I'm going to fuck with my fingers a lot when trying to use it. So, I guess it's got to be pretty well-designed buttons if they're going to do it that way.
Wait. Are those buttons or grips?
Buttons. Those are buttons underneath the face buttons in the D-pad.
Alright.
They added in four new potential buttons.
I say
four exactly.
Fuck, screw the handle ones. We don't need them.
They also seem to be changing the audio jack, and it kind of looks like they're adding in a slightly larger speaker on the controller as well, from what I'm looking at it now.
Yeah,
You mean that useless function that no one uses?
Exactly.
This controller, I just realized it kind of looks a little bit bulkier than the one that we have right now, because the touchpad looks a little bit different here too.
Hey man, Sony got Nintendo with this controller.
It to me,
At least it's still a controller.
You know what? I just thought, what if those 2 buttons by the D-pad and face buttons, what if like they made the touchpad much bigger, and they just moved the share and options buttons down there?
If those, by what you said, if those are actually like finger sensitive thingies, I would like to have the option to turn them off, just because when I'm playing fighting games, part of my thumb rubs against that part of the controller on both ends a lot when I'm trying to enter commands. So if it's a permanent option that you can't turn off, that's gonna mess up potentially a lot of stuff. Especially if the touchpad is actually doing something in the game you're playing.
Yeah.
Dom, did they have anything said about the improving the battery life?
I don't know.
Oh.
The article doesn't say anything about the battery life. All it is just a patent. I think that the one thing that I am curious about, though, is that if this controller would be included with the PlayStation 4 Neo. So, that would be interesting to see. But I don't know how I feel about this controller. If we saw, like, an actual design and see how it... and actually get hands-on with it, that would be interesting. But, it really all just depends.
I have one problem with this, again.
Mhm.
The touchpad. I know the reason. What kind of when you said battery life? I know that I heard, and some people actually did a lot of videos on it and tested it. That the touchpad is the only thing draining the batteries of the controller.
I think that's actually confirmed.
What?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
touchpad is. Everyone thinks it's the light, but it's actually not the light at all. They don't take.
It's touchpad.
No, it's not the light.
Yeah, it's the touchpad that drains it. So can we just get rid of that thing completely and just have more buttons in the middle?
Man, I didn't know the touchpad. Fuck.
Touchpad
Fucked up,
is
Sony. So if we didn't have the sorry to interrupt. If we didn't have the touchpad, the PS4's controller battery life would be fine.
yes. Deactivated my touchpad for the first time, and my battery stayed alive. So, but I had to activate it again because it's a dedicated button to map and menu and all that. So,
Right.
yeah.
I didn't know you could turn the thing off.
Right.
Neither did I.
If you open it, you can actually really gently take out there's a, I don't know what to call it, but there's a cable you need to take out from both ends. And if you do, your touchpad is off, but good luck accessing your upgrade menu or something.
Yeah, it's kind of needed, unfortunately.
Exactly. And to be honest,
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it, because ever since the announcement of PlayStation 4 and like a year passed, I haven't seen the touchpad like being needed for any reason.
Other than to give us an extra pair of buttons.
Right.
Yeah, so
Just
just take it.
I don't mean to interrupt, Koss, but to kind of just add on to what you're saying, it's like they would show maybe 2 or 3 games that had support for the touchpad, and the touchpad is just a gimmick. Nobody really wants to develop for it.
Exactly. So I think they just should take it out and replace those buttons that they're gonna add in so many odd places. You can just put it in the middle, which is easier to access with your freaking thumb.
So
Hashtag bring back starting select.
So we just have 2 more questions left. So I will let James take either 1 or 15, and I will take the last one after that, and then we can do outros.
Alright, I guess I'll take 15. CD Projekt Red has stated that the cast of The Witcher 3 will return for the standalone game Gwent. They also stated that Geralt's voice actor will return because they feel as though players would find it too jarring for a different voice actor to take the role. What are your thoughts on this? I would say, yeah, definitely keep the actor that people like the most. And for Gwent itself, I don't care, personally, because it's just a card game, so...
I'm glad CD Projekt Red is following that philosophy. How you pronounce that? Because Sony replaced I forgot what his name is for God of War, this new guy. Yeah, I'm not feeling it so far. He's just trying a little too hard to be like.
You want him to be angry.
That's not being angry though. The original voice actor was smooth. He got the voice down. It's not about him being angry. He just got it down. Period.
Yeah,
This guy's trying too hard to be like the original. At least that's how he come off to me.
I wonder why they changed his voice acting.
Good question. So I'm like, I'll give him a shot though. I'm not completely disown him, but as far as I see so far, the original voice actor is far superior.
Thank you.
Koss, do you have any opinions on this?
not any like I'm not gonna be like I'm upset that they changed the voice actor because everything God of War did I can understand why they did it.
Mm.
Like the transition they did between Ascension and this God of War was okay. It's obvious because they really tried so hard to change the combat of Ascension. But the coming to the voice actor, I know they're gonna say, "Oh, we changed the voice actor because we're trying to do a fresh start and blah blah blah." And Kratos is older and all that shit to cover it.
Kratos is freaking old in the original series, so what's the point?
Just
Like,
make
he's-
his voice deeper then, but keep the same BA.
Yeah, like this dude is like, well, should be over 100, if not over thousands of years old by now. I don't know the continuity. Oh, cut myself off for a second. Sorry. I don't know the continuity for God of War in terms of years though, but Kratos is really old,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a demigod, so it isn't like he's gonna die off naturally.
Isn't he? I thought he's immortal because of that.
No,
Yeah,
he doesn't die. I mean, he does die, but he's a demigod, so he
He doesn't
ages.
die
Forever,
naturally.
he takes forever to die.
Yeah,
yeah, you gotta kill him with a big sword in order for him to stay down.
he stays.
Then he come back up. You were saying, Ghost? Sorry, I mean.
I said he still stays alive even if you shove a sword down his stomach.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Right. Lester or Kaneki, do you guys have any thoughts on like how CD Projekt Red is handling the voice actors and you know how they feel about that?
Please make The Witcher 4.
Please make The Witcher 4.
That is all.
That's not happening. I said Witcher 3 was the last game.
No!
Big spin off with the girl.
What about Kaneki? Do you have any thoughts?
I can't say because I'm not into the Witcher series. No, I haven't played the games before, so I can't say really.
But I mean, just how they're handling the voice actor situation. Like, how do you feel about that?
Like, I don't mind.
So I think we're good to go on with the last topic, and then after that we'll just do some outros. Allison Road cancellation statement has been made, but it leaves fans with more questions than answers. What are your thoughts?
Wait, this is question number 1, right?
Yes.
This is funny that it's the last question we're answering.
Yeah, it kind of is. Anyways, all I know is that they made some kind of statement, and it wasn't clear as to, like, if there was, like, some kind of disagreement with all the parties involved or something, but nobody really knows what's happening with it. And some people are speculating that it might come back just under maybe, like, a new name or under a different studio that'll be working on it.
Can I ask you something, Dom?
Yeah, go for it.
What is Allison Road? Because I'm not too familiar
It
with
was like a PT kind of clone.
To remind you, it's basically, it was supposed to be a successor to PT, but unlike PT, it was going to be completely in first person, following a trend that's been in the horror genre for video games lately.
Bring on the salt.
But yeah, it was basically just, hey, we're gonna take on the mantle for PT and make our own, like, indie inspired PT game instead of doing a Silent Hill inspired successor. Which, to remind everybody that PT, when it was going to be Silent Hills before it got canceled, it was going to have elements of all of the Silent Hill games, not just be, like, first person entirely, but, it is what it is. But, Brandon, you seem to want to say something, so why don't you share your thoughts?
Yeah, well, if it's canceled, then I really don't care because I wasn't looking forward to the game. It looked interesting, but I just didn't care personally. If I want that type of game, I'll play Outlast.
Yeah.
Which is a faster paced game.
Or Resident Evil 7.
I mean, we're not gonna get into that. I've already said what I needed to say.
We talk about Dom. We didn't say anything, man.
No, I'm just saying that I'm not gonna say anything about RE7, but I've already stated why I'm not my opinions on that game on a separate video. So if you guys want to see that, you can. But it like these types of games, I'm not really interested in. So I'm not disappointed by the cancellation, but it might be disappointing to other people, so I do kind of feel bad for them, for anybody that was actually looking forward to the game.
Yeah.
So, so do Kaneki, Lester, or James have anything to say before we close off?
No, I wasn't
Not
really
really.
interested in Allison Road personally.
No.
All right, so I guess we'll do outros, and I'll let Koss go first. So where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube by the name of Costas 101. Yeah, that's added. That's
So-
added too.
So can you repeat that again? Just because Brandon was kind of talking over you.
I wasn't talking.
Yeah, he wasn't talking.
Well, he was like, nah,
No, that was James. You.
That was James.
man, whatever. Just.
Yeah, Dom.
Yeah, so you can find. Fucking hate you. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter by @CostasTroy101 or 101, and that's it.
All right.
Next.
And then we'll have Brandon, the alien senpai, go now.
Alien nigga senpai.
Oh yeah, you can find me at Twitter at ArcaneMagic514, and that's it.
They have Twitter on your planet?
Yes.
And
It's
we-
better than what you SJWs have.
Lester, where can we find you, good sir?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Lester at 2 p.m. You can find me on Twitch TV/NoCapro. And you can find me on YouTube at Twitch Plus Media. Thank you guys for having me. It was a pleasure to talk with y'all. As always.
Alrighty. And then, Kaneki, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me at Twitter at twitter.com/GoogleOrder, and you can also find me on YouTube at the same name. Finally, since I changed it last night, it's no longer Vega World Order; it's Google Order, and you can follow me on Twitch within the same name as if the Berserk demo or the KF14 demo comes out, I will be gladly stream them day one. And
Alright.
yeah.
Alright, that's cool. And then... No. And last but not least, we'll find... you can find... Where can we find you, James?
You can find me on Twitter at
Fuck off.
You can find me on Twitter at DevHunterJames, twitch.tv/TheHeroJames, where I occasionally stream, and here on the BioDevils and TCP stuff.
And then you guys know where you can find me, but yeah, we should be doing some more TCP stuff later. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. I don't know when our next one will be, but hopefully we'll have like more and bigger news. This week and the week prior didn't really have all that much news. It was just kind of like more information on games that had been announced already. So yeah, just wanted to share those stuff out there and get you guys informed on that. So hopefully you all enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next video, or next podcast rather. But yeah, see you then.